What's going on, guys? Wade from Wade's World coming at you with another video. Today, I've got something a little different, something a bit cool. I picked this up on the old Facebook market space for a couple of $100. It is Let's have a look. Just flip my screen down. The big Kawasaki KD 80. Now, I don't know much about these. Sure someone does. Little 80cc dirt bike, old school steel tank, early 80s. And for those of you that are wondering, are like, where's the carburetor? I see the air filter. Why's it going there? Carburetor is under here. Not sure why they did that. Maybe to protect it a little bit, but I think it's pretty cool. Now, story with this is, I got it from a lady. She learnt to ride on it when she was young. She told me she hadn't ridden it since she was 12. She was now 42. And she said it sat in her dad's shed for 30 years. And I could believe it, because it's got a bit of hair and all that sort of stuff, on the filters, bit of grit in that, but overall, she's magic. Tires were flat, I pumped them up, they hold air. They got some good meat. Her husband did say he tried to get it going, he took the Petcock off, and that was all rusty, so yeah. Anyway, we're going to try and get this son of a gun going today. How cool is that exhaust pipe? It just comes out to nothing. So if you want to hang around, let's get into it. Alright, team. The guy I got this off, or the lady I got this off, her husband told me that he'd taken the Petcock off, saw that it was all rusty, and just said that was too much for him. So I know this is just in hand tight because I had it off last night. So I'm just going to take it off to show you. And I put it back on so I don't lose anything, because I have a bad habit putting stuff down and not being able to find it. And I don't know if you can see it. It's a bit grimy. I'd just call that it stinks. I wouldn't call that rust, I'd just call it solidified fuel. So yeah. That's one thing we've got to clean up. So we'll give that a bit of a clean. We're going to check the oil in the crankcase. We'll pull this front cover off to have a look at the carburetor. I'm really hoping that I don't have to take it off and clean it, because I don't want to tear gaskets up and stuff. And because I'm a bit of a gambling man, in the sense that I'm going to try and start it and not clean the carby. I might try and blow it out, run some brake cleaner through here and blow it out with the compressor, and hopefully that pushes stuff through. I just don't want to, if I don't have to, dislodge the carby. It never works, but I'm hoping that today it will work. And on the other side is points, so we'll have to clean the points, because I reckon they'll need a good scraping after 30 years, and I'm really hoping that she'll fire up. So stick along for the journey. Let's go clean this son of a mongoose up, and yeah, we'll get a bit of brake cleaner on the go. Alright, team, Operation Petcock. I don't even know whether this thing is blocked or what, but maybe we'll give it a go. Okay, we'll put it to on. Okay, it's not blocked. Reserve. Oh, reserve is... She's blocked. Anyway, we will try and unblock. Might have to use a bit of MIG welding wire on this one. I'm just going to let that cook for a minute. Because I need to get like a... I don't want to use a steel brush on that and just scar it up. I might get a little screwdriver. Alright, let's get some of this grot out of here. Worst comes to worst, at least we know that we can run her on the on setting. I think that's the old O-ring. Okay. Oof. That old fuel. Not bad. Not bad. Let's just get the old... Oof. That was a bit hairy going. Whew. Alright. I'm going to need a... I'll bring you back, I reckon. I'm going to need a long pokey thing to get down there. And I have to find one, so I might bring you back. Alright team, we've broken a bit of ground here. Stuff camera. I took the bottom bowl off. There was this mesh screen in there that was all buckled up. We've taken that out now for the moment. I reckon we'll run an inline filter so we can disregard that. She's unblocked. She's unblocked. Look at this. Ooh yeah. That's on the reserve. On the on. Ooh yeah, son. Alright. One little thing ticked off. Let's go to the next one. I reckon what we're going to do, we'll open up that thing, have a look at the carburetor, see if it's all sliding. Maybe we'll chuck a bit of inox in there. This is good stuff. But for now, I'll dry this off. I'll bring you back over. We'll open up that carby. Alright team, for this mission, what you're going to need is a flathead. On this side, where somebody's obviously had a go many moons ago, is get some humongous Phillips head, star screwdriver, whatever you want to call it, and hopefully that comes undone. And then on the bottom, you run of the mill flathead. So, whilst I'm here hoping that this all goes smooth, pray for me. Let's try the worst one first. And just, come on. Holy smokes. Hell yeah, that was easy. Now knowing the luck that I have, the flatheads will be the hardest. Oh, Moses sandals. Jesus. Alright, let's try a bit of leverage. Wow. That's what you get when you use a cheap screwdriver. Let's try the bottom one. Alright, I'm going to get these undone and bring you back. Alright team, I got the little cover off. Take that, screws. Take that, take that. And I'm I'm really hoping that, looks like a little like Makuni or something. Oh, is that the choke there? I think that's the choke. Okay, cool. Everything's freed up and stuff. You twist the throttle, but doesn't mean to say that the jets aren't blocked. They're probably blocked. I'm going to try and send it without undoing this bottom bowl or taking the carby off. I haven't even looked how to get that thing off. Oh, there's like a backing plate over there. I'm just going to take the punt when we're ready to fire this son of a gun up. We're just going to chuck some juice in it, see what happens. I might even put some brake cleaner and stuff down the hole. Hopefully it eats its way down in there. We're going to put, even before we go to fire this up, I want to pull this plug out, chuck some 2-stroke oil in there, lube up that piston a bit. But anyway, we'll come back to all that. I just wanted to make sure that this carburetor was all freed up and doing its thing. So I think what we'll do, I'll do it off camera because it's pretty boring watching someone just like spray some juice down in there. I'll go around to the point side, clean the points, and see if we can get some spark happening. So stay tuned. Alright team, I took the tank off and the seat off, a bit easier. A guy's got his spark plug tool. We're going to whip this plug out and we'll just have a bit of a good bo peep. I'll try and get you in a bit of a posy where you can see better. Let's let's just see what we can see. Is that a thing? Oof. I just had a look at this coil wire up here. That's a bit, how you going, but some silicone might fix that. Anyway, we'll jump that hurdle when we come to it. Probably should use a shifter, but yep, I'll get you a shifter. Oh, hey, oh, son of a, holy smokes, I might have to get it. Oh, I have to get a socket on that. Oh, Jesus. Well, that's what 30 years of sitting in the hole does. Yep, alright. I'll be back with a socket. And by socket, I mean 19mm spanner. Let's see if we can break something. Wow. Alright. Take 3. So here we go. Jesus Christ on a bike. Holy hell. Let's have a look. Ooh. Not too bad, but just all that hair. It's pretty awesome, actually. Alright. We know the bike's cool. I'm just going to feed a bit of 2-stroke oil down it. One sec. Now, if you're meant to be doing this properly, You'd have a bit of a syringe, but we're not that fancy around here. Give her another cap. All right, 2 caps in, spilled one, but we'll let that marinade and then we'll head over to the point side of things. Let's have a look. All right, team, we're gonna take this off. I took this plate off, this cover, because I thought it'd be pretty boring just to undo a couple of screws. But what I did notice, this cool thing, if you're not sure on like the gears, it's like neutral, 1 down, 4 up, like she's a 5-speed. So I never knew that. That was really cool. But to get to the points, I'm pretty sure I've got to undo this, pull this cover off, and the points will be behind there. And we're going to use the Milwaukee and see what nuts we can strip off potentially. All right, that was easy enough. Maybe there's a washer there. Take that off. And does that just come off something more? Ah, she's on a key. So I need like a gear puller, clearly, to go through there. I'm not sure if I have a gear puller to suit that. Geez, they don't make it easy for you. Alright, I'm going to have to cut this short and let me see what I can scrounge up. This is getting a bit annoying. I'll be back. Alright, team. I think I can do this without taking this flywheel off. I don't know how well you're going to see. I'm going to try and get the light in there. You can see the points through there. So I'm going to try and get some sandpaper in there and give them a bit of a lick up and see if we end up getting a bit of spark, because I got a bit too savage and like cracked it a little bit there, so I'll have to fix that later or not. This is my only hope. So it's getting hot here today, man. It's like 45 degrees today in Australia, which is like over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. We're cooking. We're cooking. But hopefully we can play around with this and get the old KD cooking. All right. I'm going to scratch these points because it's like you won't be able to see nothing. And I'm going to test for spark. And if we get spark, I'll bring you back. If not, I'll cry. This is big. This is big. I just tested for spark. I gave the points the old, back and forth. I just tested for spark. I had nothing. We had this bit of a like wire that like runs to the coil, and it's like gone. They've just biffed it under the riser because clearly it goes to this that's not connected. And I thought, that looks a bit sandwiched, so maybe that's earthing it out. Trace the wire back to here. We weren't getting sparks, so I thought, you know what? I'm going to give it the old snippety-doo and see what happens, because we can always join it, run a new wire back up to here and do the old. And then I was like, how good is the coil? Fantastic. But I wonder if she gets a bit of spark. And then this happened. Oof, I don't know if you can see that, but that's half the mission done. We're on our way. to the moon. Stick around, this is big. So I've just put the spark plug back in that was, you know, seized up, and took 3 blokes to get it undone. And we're gonna see how we go. I'm just gonna spray a bit of the old brake and parts cleaner in there. But what I'm thinking, I'm gonna just run a bit of inox down the fuel hose just to see if it can massage a bit of that juice down in there, in that carburetor, break it up a little bit, maybe cause a fire. Yeah, all that fun stuff. So let's see what happens when we just kick her over. Oh. She's got compression. To chuck the front brake on. Holy smokes, this thing's gonna go. Oh, doggy. Give her another bit of... Holy hell. Yeah, boy. We're on our way. Kawasaki KXing it to the moon. Giggity, giggity. All right. Now, like I said, I'm not even going to clean that. I'm just going to put the fuel tank on, chuck some juice in there. I'll give her a lick over. We'll try and lube her up a bit. We got to check the oil. Should have checked that first. Drain the oil, new oil. Let's get this happening and send it. All right, good. Check that oil. $17. I need a drip tray. I've got to find a drip tray. I'll be back. All right, squad. So under here, I'm not sure if you can see it, but right here, that's your oil level. You whip this little bung out, and when you fill her up at the top and it starts seeping out of there, that's when you go, oh yeah, she's got enough juice in her. We'll put that back. And then it's just a normal crankcase drain underneath. Not sure if you can see, but I'll poke my screwdriver to that bad guy there, 17 mil. So basically, that's how you change the oil on one of these things. All right, so I don't know what is in here, so let's have a bit of a peep. And this is very hard to get on there whilst doing it on camera. And you got to do it without the bike falling off the stand. And whilst moving the camera out of the way, Oof, that's a bit tight. Time to get my fat head in there. Okay, let's see what comes out of this. This will be quite interesting, if anything comes out of it. Jeez, talk about a long bolt. It's actually pretty good for like old oil. Copper washer. Undo the thing at the top. Whilst that's draining, I'll get a rag. Alright, that's all drained out. Might have to get like a 10 mil on that, I reckon. Alright. Let's put our bung back in. You could have ran that with that, but always good to check your oils. Always good. I really hope I don't have to pull that carburetor off. Secretly in the back of my mind, I know that I will have to, but I'm praying that I don't. Snug that up. And I think I have a 10 mil right there laying on the ground. Are you a 10 mil? Because you were the most like awkward thing to get onto, and hopefully you're not too tight. Wow, this might be better with a 10 mil socket. If I can find one, because when you need one, it's like the most impossible thing to find. Anyway, I'm coming back with a 10 mil socket. All right, a guy couldn't get that undone, so he's going to do what any other responsible adult would do and just put the old oil back in. And hopefully it goes back in without an issue. Let's just do that. And that's not too bad. I could get a cap of some other oil and just top her off. I did have some other oil around here. Alright. And that should be plenty. Alright. That's how you do the oil, folks. Sort of. Close that up. We can put this back up here, because that's gonna hold that on there. Maybe. Need like 3 hands. What in the... Get that on there. All right, we've done that up. And you know what? That's really good because that'll act. What's that bolt from? That'll act as a tank strap because we don't have one of them. But the seat's holding it on, sort of. And anyway, we'll just pretend it was always like that. Now, back around to this side. I'm not going to bore you. I'm going to put all this, button it all back up. We're going to chuck some jungle juice in it. And we're just going to fire it off and see if she'll run under her own steam. So, yeah, let's do that, shall we? And I'll bring you back when we're going to fire off. All right, guys. Bike's back together. I've chucked some juice in it. I forgot how bad the fuel tank, it stinks. So if this fires off, we haven't pulled the carby off. If this fires off, it's going to be sick. So let's do one last walk around. Let's drink up this little KD. We did the points. I've left this cover off just so in case we do have to pull the carb, we can. We've still got a little bit left to go because, I mean, the bars are a bit wobbly. That wire that I cut's just hanging in there. Hopefully it doesn't earth out. So, without further ado, I'm going to try and give you a good exhaust pipe shot because we oiled up the cylinder. I reckon I've put twice, if not 3 times the amount of oil in the fuel that it actually needs. This is a self-oiling system, but I'm not sure if it works or not. So I just oiled up the fuel. Anyway, let's fire her up, see what happens. Fingers crossed. All right, let's do it. Come on, baby. Choke on. I'm giving you a bit of choke. Come on. Front brake. It's idling. It's idling. Hell yeah, we didn't have to pull that carby. Oh my god. Yeah. That is a win. That is a win. Let's do this. Let's get outside and crank her up again. All right, guys, she runs. I've got her outside. See if she fires up again and if we've got gears. If we got gears, whew, we're to the moon. I'll put you over here. Let's see. we got gears and I flooded it. I think that clutch needs a bit of adjustment. So let me play around with that. I'm not going to video, man, it's hot here. So I'll bring you back. Hey team, I cut the video short there before. We're back a week later. We fired the bike, we put it in gear, the clutch was stuck to hell. That day it was like 45 degrees Celsius. I don't even know what that is in Fahrenheit. I think it's over 100. I was sweating, I was cooked. I put the bike away. I come back to it a few days later, went to film unsticking the clutch, forgot to hit record. Anyway, the clutch is unstuck. The bike's sitting behind me right there. I haven't fired it up in over a week. So let's fire it up and we'll go over it again. I'm really spewing that I didn't get the footage of it being unstuck. It wasn't a big thing, but it's still cool to see. This thing hadn't ran for like 30 years and hadn't moved under its own power. So anyway, I'm going to fire it up after like a week of not running. We're going to take it out and give it a bit of a burn and see what happens. All right, guys. So in the last bit, I forgot to mention something we got to figure. Oh, I got to fix is I've just rigged up this alligator clip on there because I didn't really notice that one of the reasons why it conked out was because the spark plug lead from the coil had actually broke, and after I cut it to strip it back to put this connector, I didn't have enough, so I just added a janky bit of wire. But in the next video we'll fix that, we'll address that problem. So, and then we're gonna like paint all this and just give it a bit of a tidy up, fix the kill switch. And anyway, without further ado, let's see if she'll fire off. I'll set you up here. It's been a week, so I've got to get a pair of pliers to pull the choke. Fuel on. And this thing's cold as a mother-in-law's kiss. Like, it's not been ran or anything. So we'll get our choke pliers. Give her a bit of choke. All right. Come on, baby. Bring the thunder. Yeah, buddy. She's a weapon. All right, let's get her outside and I'll show you how she goes through the gears. All right, team, let's kick her in the guts. We'll burn her around the backyard and we'll cycle through the gears. Come on, baby. we'll fix that kill switch in the next video. So, without further ado, I think that's going to wrap this part 1 up. And like I said, like, we got to rewire this kill switch, give all this a bit of a coat of paint, and yeah, fix that, turn that off. She's worth tidying up. She's worth tidying up. So I appreciate you watching. Take care. May you have a blessed week. And if you liked it, subscribe. It'll really help me out. See you on the next one.